Hello to you all, and welcome to the second episode of our Darlington podcast, a monthly podcast where you can grab a coffee and join us to discuss what we love about our town, Darlington. We aim to highlight hidden gems within the area, whether they are businesses, walks, landmarks, things to do with the kids, or visitor attractions. My name is Henry Carver. I'm here with co-host and brother Jim. Hello again.
Good morning.
It's, 3 or 4 weeks since we did the first one?
Yeah, we've done one. We're back for a second, so I'd say that's progress.
Yeah.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you and all the listeners.
Absolutely.
The first one, you signed many autographs over the course of the last few weeks? After the first one was released?
A few selfies.
Selfies?
Yeah,
I need to get with the time, don't I?
Absolutely. No autographs. But I think we have had a few listens, which is excellent.
Yes.
I think when we started this, we were very unsure if anyone was going to listen, bar our spouses and our parents. But I think we've had a few people download and listen, so thank you very much.
Absolutely, yeah, that's seconded from myself and those people who we've forced to listen to it. We'll certainly be doing the same again.
Well, everyone at work's listened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, in a team training day, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely right. So I think the Spotify figures are currently at 106 unique listeners.
I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. More than just, as you say, our direct immediate family. So thank you very much for those who have listened. A bit of feedback from last time was that actually for the first few minutes we couldn't quite hear your voice. So a little bit more projection today would be needed.
Yes, I need to speak a bit louder, be a bit closer to the microphone, so hopefully you can hear me, but my voice is quite quiet.
Yep.
Whether or not I need elocution or pronunciation lessons, but I've had a few tips from producer Adam, so hopefully you can hear me loud and clear today.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And an apology as well that is needed regarding the name of said podcast. Our Darlington is what we have called it.
Genius idea.
Absolute genius idea.
Yeah.
I think I gave you all the credit last week.
I think I took it as well. I genuinely thought it was my idea, but looking back through some WhatsApp messages, Tori Gill was in fact responsible. It was her idea when we first sort of started talking about the concept of the podcast, and she came up with the idea, and I think our response was completely cheesy, not a chance.
She sent a screenshot, didn't she, of our WhatsApp group, and it was basically, it's a bit cheesy, we'll see what else we can come up with.
Absolutely, and we couldn't come up with anything better, so Tori, thank you very much for the name. When we make it really big, then obviously there'll be royalties payable at some point, but we'll have a chat about that later.
Absolutely, yes. Royalties of about a penny.
Yeah.
For the next year, I think. And in terms of Christmas, you mentioned Happy New Year. How did you find that?
Christmas, it's sort of pure survival mode, isn't it? With kids, it's a lot of excitement going on. But it was brilliant. Lots of parties, lots of socialising. Visited a few places. Went out to today where I went to for the first time. Sortie. This sort of charcuterie place, which was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was really, really good fun. Had a good night there, so I'd recommend that if you haven't been. Been back to Tao as well, the Japanese place, which I absolutely love. And then a few other bits and pieces. So what about yourself?
Basically had a couple of nights out over Christmas in town. Visited Tanner's. Haven't been to Tanner's in quite a while, but the table service there is excellent, isn't it?
Tanner's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
There's some memories of that place from our youth.
Yes, it was basically the only place you can get served underage, I think, at the time.
We used to get like big jugs of vodka Red Bull for about £10, I think. So not sure they do that anymore.
I'll say underage. 17, 16?
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, moving on quickly. We went bowling recently, Darlington Dolphin Centre.
We did, a kids' party last weekend, which was great. Yeah. The kids were all playing in one lane, and we managed to get a parents' lane next to it, which was quite competitive. Dads,
it was mainly the dads, wasn't it? I think
it was.
We and you say next to where the children were. We were basically the opposite side of the bowling alley,
as far away as possible,
whilst the children were getting food.
Yes.
So yes, I'll be very transparent in the fact that we dodged the food.
It was genius call.
Absolute genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of our spouses were quite jealous, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's this episode all about? We said in the first episode we're going to have a load of guests on, and the whole point was to interview different professionals throughout the town and really highlight what they are up to in their working life and also their personal life. Who have we got on today's show, Jim?
Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
So whose idea was the podcast, and whose idea was it to get guests on, and who was in charge of the admin?
Well, I think this is a team effort.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, although I took credit for the name, which wasn't me, we said, I think, in our first episode that we're going to get loads and loads of guests on. We genuinely have had lots of people contact us to say that they would love to come on, but our admin has been pretty terrible. It kind of got back to work after New Year and like, oh, we need to get another podcast session organised. And with sort of a week's notice, we've realised that's not enough. So today it is the episode without a guest.
The episode without a guest. I think that's a perfect title.
So is it just going to be us rambling on for 20 minutes?
Yeah, probably, absolutely.
So people probably turned off already. Excellent.
No, but you came up with quite a good idea that...
I thought we could do a quiz.
Yeah, okay.
On Darlington.
But then I thought pretty quickly that it's not exactly the perfect forum or medium for audience participation.
Yeah.
So
it could also be quite embarrassing if we get them all wrong.
Yes, exactly.
When we're supposed to know our town very
well.
well.
We're hosting a town about Darlington. Sorry, a podcast about Darlington. And what do we know about the town? Actually, probably very little. Obviously there's a significant history which hopefully in future episodes we can actually dive into in more detail.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to learning a lot more about our town and hopefully trying to educate other people as well who may have lived here all their lives, who may not know actually all the background and the sort of the history with the town. So instead of a quiz, what we're going to do?
I don't know. Have a chat. Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at some. Let's pretend that this is organic.
Oh, what a good idea!
Let's just bring up Wikipedia and have a look through a few statistics. Not necessarily statistics, I should say, but a bit of trivia. Let me just bring up the laptop. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay. So the first thing that I noticed here was a story. Or a comment. Let me just bring this up. History. Feel free to fill.
Is Wikipedia all factual, or is it not, where people can just say what they want to say? They can edit it so it can be.
I think the things that we're looking at have actually got citations next to them.
Okay.
So I think
we're not just giving a load of misinformation to people who are going to spread vicious rumours about the town.
I would hope not. And again, one of the stats that I'm looking back is probably from the 1800s. So
okay.
I don't think there are many people to sort of say otherwise. But
there are history books.
Yeah, valid point. Okay, so I'll start with one that I do have, but I can't actually find one of them. 2001, Darlington was the first place to actually host a same-sex civil ceremony.
Right.
Which I think is a bit of information that I didn't know for a start.
Yeah, so quite forward thinking, which was great.
Very much so. I'm basically going off the cuff here, bear with me a second. But Darlington used to be called Darlington.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so perhaps
it's added a couple of letters in there somewhere.
Well, I think it was something to do with the textile industry back in the time.
Like darning.
Yeah, quite possibly, or darn. Okay, so when the author Daniel Defoe visited the town during the 18th century, he noted that it was eminent for good bleaching of linen, so that I have, this is in speech bubbles, I have known cloth brought from Scotland to be bleached here. However, he also disparaged the town, writing that it had nothing remarkable but dirt.
Wow.
Yes. And
Nothing remarkable but dirt.
yeah, absolutely. And
How times have changed.
if you could see it now,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Daniel Defoe, for those that don't know their Daniel Defoe history, was the author of Robinson Crusoe.
Ah, right. Yeah, Danny. Danny.
Danny, you know him
Yeah,
well.
yeah, met him a few times.
Yeah,
Good.
absolutely. History was one of your favourite subjects, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I did get an A at GCSE, thank you very much.
That's actually quite impressive. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you
So,
go.
what have you done with that A at GCSE recently?
Diddly squat.
Diddly squat.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll come out in this podcast series. You know, if we do the history.
Yeah, the local history expert.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now this one again, I've just read this just now. On the 9th, sorry, this is very interesting. On the night of this is going back to World War II. On the night of 13th of January 1945, a Lancaster bomber piloted by pilot officer William Stewart McMillan of Canada was on a training exercise when one of its engines caught fire and it crashed on farmland near Lingfield Lane. McMillan heroically stayed at the controls while his crew parachuted to safety and directed the stricken aircraft away from the houses below. He was unfortunately killed on impact, but his heroism was honoured by renaming Lingfield Lane McMullen Road and erecting a memorial monument there.
That's quite incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely mind-blowing, to be honest, that I didn't have an inkling. I didn't have a clue why it was named that.
I haven't seen the monument. We should probably go and
Yeah.
have a look, see if we can go and get a picture of it or something. And
Well, absolutely. There is a picture on the link here, and hopefully it'll appear on the screen for those that may be watching. But it's not exactly a big monument. It's a stone with a plaque on.
yeah.
But I think stories like that should be shared far and wide.
So this guy
really.
gave his life to save his crew and make sure the plane didn't crash into
I think
houses.
it was. Yeah, absolutely. He told his crew to. I read the Northern Echo article as well, just within the last 10 seconds.
Excellent.
And it actually went on to say that he gave the order for his crew to jump out,
Yeah.
obviously with parachutes on, whilst he controlled the aircraft away from the people below. So no doubt saving a significant amount of lives.
Amazing. Mr. McMullen.
Mr. McMullen. So,
McMullen
yeah.
Road. While we're talking about aeroplanes, have you been over Winston Bridge before? Well, you have been over Winston Bridge
I
before.
have been plenty of times.
But have you noticed there is a...
So Winston's over towards Barnard Castle, isn't it?
Yeah, between Darlington and Barnard Castle, little village there, there was a pub called the Bridgewater Arms, which is closed at the moment. It used to be a fantastic pub. But if you drive over that or you walk or you run over that, there's a little sort of brass Spitfire on top of the bridge. And I go over it quite a bit, so I looked it up last year. Someone flew a Spitfire plane up the River Tees under that bridge, and they were filming it for a World War I movie, I think.
Wow.
Where the Red Arrows used to sort of egg each other on to perform scarier and scarier stunts. And yeah, Winston Bridge, someone has flown underneath that. And there's video footage of it as well, so have a look at that. It's quite incredible.
That is very incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen the video footage, to be honest with you, so I will be YouTubing that very shortly.
Pretty skillful.
Yeah, very much so. And I
Yeah.
indeed drank your coffee. I don't know why, but again, last few conversations we've had off air was regarding our personal and business goals. Do you think we should apply that to this podcast?
We've probably bored people enough, so we start talking about our personal and business goals.
I didn't mean the personal business, of course. I mean, forgetting about that. It's not about us. It's about the podcast. It's about the town. It's about highlighting individuals and independence as well.
So, sort of goals that we're wanting to achieve for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So
well, first one is we've recorded one and we're now recording two. So let's keep the momentum going. Let's get the next one booked in. Let's actually get a guest and hopefully provide some interesting conversations.
yeah, I mean, joking aside regarding the guests, we have had many people contact us. I say many, more than one and less than 10. But in terms of
that's many.
That's many.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But in terms of the reason we don't have a guest here is, obviously a lot of retails, a lot of businesses are extremely busy over the Christmas period, and then this is the period that they can catch up. So in essence, hopefully going into the next episode, we've got several people lined up, and we have had very positive conversations with those people who have volunteered to come on and have a coffee with us and have a chat.
Absolutely. And if we don't get volunteers, we're just going to come and grab you and bring you in and put a microphone in front of you. It's not actually that difficult. If I can do it, then anyone else can, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So there's goal number 1, guest on the next podcast. And I mentioned briefly independent businesses there. And you touched on it last time. It's to support the independents within Darlington. Very, very important.
Massively. We've got such a huge variety of independent businesses in town. And I think I touched on it before our first episode, or during our first episode. The convenience of online shopping and Amazon, we all do it. It's hard not to. I'm saying we all do it. Remember our cousin Nicola before COVID? She had never.
I do remember our cousin.
You do remember? Yeah. Surprisingly, you remember. Excellent. But before COVID, she had never bought anything online. She always shopped independent, which I think is absolutely amazing. I think she's gone back to that.
Absolutely.
So, personally, I would really like to sort of carry that forward. Try and not buy anything online, and actually think, where can I buy? I don't buy a huge amount of stuff, to be honest. But
I think it's attempting to change the mindset, isn't it? Because it is ridiculously easy to click a couple of buttons. You know, if you're busy, it'll turn up on your doorstep the next day.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with my wife last night, and she just sort of, you know, obviously we do buy a lot online because it's so convenient, because we've got busy work lives, busy family lives, etc. But I think trying to prioritise just nipping into town and whilst you're there, picking up several things that you need, and as we've said, give it back to the independents who are there working there.
But it's just a better experience as well.
Yeah,
you get that sort of social interaction. A good example, we not at the moment, we used to go up to the market at Barnard Castle because we live not too far away. So rather than going to a supermarket with the kids, we would go and get our sort of fruit and veg at the market. The kids absolutely loved it. They got to bag up the fruit, they got to weigh it. Because we were going quite regularly, we got to know the people on the stands there and things. So I'd like to try and sort of build the relationships in Darlington, and hopefully for me, who absolutely hate shopping, make it a better experience, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. There's goal number 2: support more independent businesses within the town. Not buying anything online, or doing our best to reduce the online shopping.
Absolutely.
Wherever possible. I appreciate it's not always possible. And then there was another one. It was a case of making basically more connections within the independents. Yeah,
so I think, again, we touched on it last time. We're part of a WhatsApp group of Darlington independent businesses. Mm-hmm. Is there about 130?
There's 142 members of the Darlington Independents WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So clearly there may be several from, for example, our business, we're both in it.
Yeah.
And I know for other businesses, they might have duplicate sort of members there, but significant amount of independents in the town. Yeah,
and it's just sort of, again, people are sort of sharing any offers that they've got going on, updates, things like that. Mm. But I think when I look down the list of people in that group, I know a few of them, but I don't know anywhere near enough. So I'd really like to try and go and visit as many of those independents as possible. Mm-hmm. I suppose we can let them know that we're doing this pod, and the idea of this pod is to try and help promote the town, but also promote their business as well. So raising awareness of what we're trying to do, which hopefully people support.
Hopefully. And we're seeing a few of them this evening.
Yes. What's this evening? We've got an independent. I think is it the council that have arranged it? Sort of a drinks and food.
Bit of a social gathering after the busy period, as I say, over Christmas, and it's a chance for everyone to come together. And I say everybody, it's the Darlington Independence Catch Up, I think is what it's been named, and that's been Alex Nicholson from the council who's arranged that, and she's doing a fantastic job within the town centre. And
is it a freebie?
Freebie? I don't know. Hopefully.
I think we've got to pay for ourselves, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. But obviously, it was Alex's idea to get everyone together. But yeah, thank you to Alex. And it's being hosted at Posh Street Food, which is a new restaurant that's been...
on the corner of Skinnergate and Duke Street.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the chef is Matai Baron. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah.
He was a quarter-finalist in MasterChef The Professionals. I think it was MasterChef The Professionals, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was a few years ago, but very well known in the area for his basically posh street food. So I think he's setting up the...
and I've seen some photos, and they've got lots of Parmo options as well. So
Parmo's perfect.
Absolutely.
One of my favourite go-to takeaways. Probably mainly after a couple of beverages, I may say.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a favourite of mine.
So yeah, no, I never saw him on MasterChef.
No, I didn't actually.
But I enjoy watching it. I like a bit of cooking every now and then.
Yeah, you're basically a world-renowned chef.
I am actually. I tell you what, I used to work with James Close, who's
who's that for those that don't know?
Two Michelin star chef at the Raby Hunt in Summerhouse.
Formerly of,
yeah. So I used to work with him. I trained him. I didn't train him.
You didn't train him.
I basically used to wash up dishes
after he made amazing food.
Worked at Headlam Hall in the kitchen. I did a stint of waitering there. So yeah, got to know James there before he had his own establishment. But yeah, I've just heard this week that's closing, and he's got him and his wife are moving to Rockcliffe Hall. Yeah,
absolutely. New ventures ahead for them both. James and Maria Close.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to seeing what he does there, because I mean, Rockcliffe Hall's already got an absolute outstanding reputation, hasn't it?
Yeah.
There's been some incredible chefs that have headed up the orangery there. Kenny, was it Kenny Atkinson?
Yeah.
Who's now, I gather, got House of Tides in Newcastle, which. Again, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 Michelin star or even any, but I went there not so long ago with my wife and had a very, very nice experience.
Fantastic.
Certainly did. Okay, so is there anything else to run through there?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so we had 106 plays from Spotify. Again, individuals that have watched or listened to the podcast for over 60 seconds. So I don't know how many of those 106 left at 61 seconds, but...
Well, after today,
today.
Could be quite a few.
Yeah, quite possibly. But no, we're here to hopefully have a bit of fun with this as well. We are very new to this, so we would appreciate any feedback that you may give. If it's Jim's voice again.
Yeah,
please.
Henry keeps kicking me under the table to speak up, so
absolutely.
I'll try and be consciously speaking louder or sit close to the microphone.
Absolutely. So yes, if it is Jim's voice again, please let us know in the form of a slap around his face, and then we're all happy. So yeah, I think we're just about there to wrap it up. We will be having a guest on the next episode, and we will be highlighting independence within the town, as we've promised to do, and bringing you hopefully snippets of trivia along the way. I mean, I don't know how many of you would have known regarding the name of McMullen Road, but I would guess very few. Actually, I'll probably say very few knew there was even a stone there, a monument there. So we will certainly see, hopefully within the next week or so when this gets released. I will end with one last bit of trivia, and I do...
it's got to be a good one.
Hopefully, but you just have to fill for the next 10 seconds while I mess around on
Should I sing a song, or I could talk about my running if you want?
No. Well, if people aren't already asleep, they will be.
Well, I can tell you what's... Actually, I've got a rest day today, which is excellent. My first rest day this year, so I'm delighted. Which coincides with going out for a meal, so yeah, perfect.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is another fact regarding the town. So then, in 1870, the Northern Echo newspaper launched, and its most famous editor, William Thomas Stead, died on the Titanic. I did not know that.
Right.
Facing the present Northern Echo building on Priestgate is the William Stead Public House, named after him. So there you go.
Right.
There's a new feature.
There we go. What? Dead people of Darlington.
Dead people of Darlow. There you go. We've
Excellent.
named it.
Very, very cheery episode. That.
Very cheery episode. But joking aside, I know where the Williamsteads is.
Yeah.
I know it's a pub.
Yeah.
I know he's a historical character. He's a historical person.
Yeah.
An influential person, because otherwise he wouldn't have a pub named after him, right?
Yeah.
But I did not know he was an editor of the Northern Echo. And it all makes sense now.
Does.
So there you are. Hopefully that's educated people and for the better. There you go.
Yep.
But anyway.
Excellent. Well, that is it from us.
Yep.
And thank you for listening or watching in your hundreds or thousands. Or thanks, Mum. But yeah, we will get a guest lined up for the next episode. And yeah, thanks for your support.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.